It's 8 minutes to 7. You may already have heard a lot about what the government's been calling the Northern Powerhouse, and after today's Queen's speech, you're likely to hear rather a lot more.
What exactly is it, and how's it going to work in practice? Well, Steph is in Liverpool finding out for us. Morning, Steph.
Good morning to you. Morning, everyone. I'm at the port of Liverpool here, where you can see behind me, this is where they're bringing in all kinds of different products and sending lots of things out across the world too. So anything from your cars, mobile phones, calls, all kinds of different products. They deal with something like 50 million tonnes of freight here. That works out at about 2.5 million containers, so the containers where the products are coming in and out of. And it's a business that's expanding. Just behind me here is where they're developing the second part of the port, which will help them to double their capacity here. And this is important for the infrastructure of the north and for helping to create more wealth up here and rebalance the economy. And that, as you say, is something we're going to be hearing about in the Queen's speech today, about creating this Northern Powerhouse. Well, I've got a couple of guests who we can have a chat to about this. We've got Andrew from the Centre for Cities, who do lots of research on it, and also Patrick, who's one of the bosses here at Peel Ports. Andrew, let me start with you. This idea of a Northern Powerhouse, what does it actually mean?
So it's the government's programme, the shorthand that they've used to talk about how they need to make more of the big cities in the north. We know that London does very well. Part of the problem is the UK is over-reliant on London, so we want places like Liverpool and Manchester and Leeds to be doing better, to be economically more successful, and the government set on a programme before and today about how they're going to make that happen.
Patrick, what does this sound like to you then, this idea of a Northern Powerhouse? Because obviously for your business here, it's important that there is good infrastructure and that the wealth is spread, really.
Yes, absolutely. It makes total sense. At the moment, we're in a situation where the vast majority of containerised freight that's coming in and out of the country comes through southern ports, and the majority of those boxes then get put on lorries and taken north of Birmingham. That's over 2 million containers going on the roads to the north of England. What we see behind us here is a new facility that will open in December and will open up the north of England to international markets. So rebalancing the economy, being able to support business in the north efficiently and cost effectively makes absolute sense.
Andrew, one of the things I noticed when I was talking to people about this yesterday was the concern that perhaps it all sounds like it's going to happen in Manchester, and how on earth is it going to be spread out across the north, because the north is a very big place. Like, what about Newcastle and other parts of the country? Yeah,
so I think the first thing we recognise, we've already touched on it, is the importance of linkages and connectivity. So allowing goods and people to move between Liverpool and Manchester and Newcastle and Leeds, so that's an important part. And then I think we've seen a range of investments, this is a good one, range of investments in Leeds that will also allow those places to grow as well. So Manchester's in the limelight today, but actually there's a programme of work in other places as well. So it's not just about Greater Manchester, and it extends all the way up into Newcastle and Hull as well.
Do you have any concerns, Patrick, in terms of you know, how long this is going to take? Because we're hearing so much about it, these obviously buzzwords of Northern Powerhouse. Is it something that you think is going to be instantly change things for you, or do you think it's a long time off?
Obviously, major infrastructure projects take a long time in planning and they take a long time in building. We're at the end stage of this development here, and we're investing £300 million in this new facility at Liverpool too. Yes, road and rail infrastructure is absolutely needed, and it's part and parcel of the Northern Powerhouse. You know, we're doing our bit here in terms of opening up the north to international markets, but it's all about connectivity, and we need to make sure that the actions that have been set out by the government in their March document about the Northern Powerhouse and transport are actually now delivered. And that's all about connectivity east and west across the north of England in both road and rail. And yes, it'll take time, but it's an absolute must.
Yeah, OK. Well, thank you both very much for your time this morning. Thanks for letting us bring the sofa here as well. It's heavy, this sofa, you know. Tell you what, we had some strong lads who carried it in for us earlier, and there'll be more from me here a little bit later on as well.
All right, well, glad you got help. See you later, Steph.
Steph would have mucked in anyway.